Talking now with Jackie Hudson from Ground Zero. Could you start by describing this organization?
Well, Liz, this organization is a small group of committed people who are committed basically to nonviolence and specifically to nonviolence as regards to the Trident missile system and the Trident submarine, which is our properties adjoin. And Ground Zero has been in existence primarily to resist Trident. Some of our buttons say we can all live without Trident, and resist Trident for love and for life. If we want to continue life as we know it, it would disappear if one Trident submarine got the message to shoot their missiles. It would annihilate. One missile itself, or one submarine itself, has the capability of what we were told 2,040 Hiroshimas. And we all know what happened to Hiroshima.
So what is the purpose of this weekend get-together that you've put together?
Well, this weekend primarily is trying to refocus with the broader community of peace folks in Puget Sound to come together, realizing the Trident system is still here, and the Trident system will still be here for quite some time. And what is our response? What are we called to do at this stage as we are reaching for the millennium? What is our major role here in Kitsap County? What is our major role as peacemakers? And how can we build that together as Puget Sound?
And what are some of the challenges that you face currently working on this struggle that's been decades old?
Well, being new to this particular area, I came from Michigan, and I worked in the peace movement in Michigan since the 70s. I'm kind of a late bloomer coming to peace. I was a music teacher in Catholic schools in Michigan. But I came out here when Michigan's nuclear weapons came down to zero. We no longer had nuclear weapons in Michigan, but I knew they were out here. So I came out here to Ground Zero to meet with the folks and just to see what we could do together and what my skills and what my efforts could do to help eliminate nuclear weapons in this area. And I have found myself immersed in a military community that I have never experienced before in my life. The county is inundated with the militaristic attitude. The need for the military is, the thought that the need for military is very prevalent, and constantly reminded that we can do our protesting because we have a strong military. And that is a statement that is thrown at us anywhere in the country, but very strongly right here. I have experienced very negative and threatening attitude by some folks who feel very strongly the need and the necessity for a strong military. And I think they can be threatening in their words and in their actions because they know they have support. We are a minority in this area. I would say 75 to 80% of our community is either past military or present military. So it's very strongly a militarized county.
What other ways is it like living so close to the Bangor station and living right in the heart of the military?
Well, we're not actually living right here on these grounds, but experiencing these grounds on a regular basis and knowing that this base, when I first came out here, we came to the gate and to the fence of Bangor daily for prayer. And it sort of gave me the realization of the destructive power that is just on the other side of this fence, just less than a mile away from me, is a very frightening thing. It's frightening from the standpoint of just the ultimate in power. It is the largest arsenal of nuclear weapons, I believe, present in any one location today. With the unloading of the missile silos of the MX missile and the land-based ICBMs, the Trident system is the most treacherous and the most devastating of the nuclear system of the United States. The air wing is based, that has been cut back dramatically with the closing of Air Force bases, but they have really established the sea-based missile system in the Trident submarine, both on this coast here at Bangor and on the east coast at Kings Bay. And as I say, we will be, the Trident system will be the major nuclear missile system that this country has. And to see it right here in our backyard is, it's not a wonderful thought.
Are you optimistic about closing down this Trident or Hanford or the whole nuclear military process?
Well, miracles have happened. We've witnessed a lot of things that we never thought would happen. Berlin Wall, the end of the Cold War, so-called. Who knows? And I think my life and my actions are not based on results, but they're based on being faithful to what I believe, faithful to what I believe is important for life on this planet. And come what may, the seeds that I sow may bring forth fruit, and they may not in my lifetime, but they may after my lifetime ends. So I don't think, I'm very hopeful always that whatever I'm doing is going to have some benefit, even if it's just the benefit of my own conversion and my own deepening of my own life, and the meaning of my life, why I'm here, what my role is.
And what steps do you recommend, or what things do you hope will happen that people can do to bring about this change?
Well, one of the steps in our process is education. And a friend of mine speaks very often of the burden of knowing. Once you know what is here, what is present, what the possibilities are, and you know that, you can do one of two things. One, there's a continuum, but the drastic thing on either side is classic denial that it does exist and that there is a problem, and the other end is dedicating your time and your efforts and your life to trying to change. And I think it's the political will that needs changing in this country. And what is going to change that, I can't say. But I have seen political wills in individuals change. And I think once there are enough of the individuals that change, that critical mass, wherever it happens or whenever it happens, the miracle happens. And I guess I can be optimistic and hopeful and continue in my struggle knowing that and what the importance of my role in contributing to that.
Do you have any other comments?
Well, just in basic comments is there is so much good and so much love in so many people that once that can converge together to really desire life without violence, we will have new life and we will have new vision in this country and in the world.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Do you think of any questions, Mike?
I became involved in the peace movement from kind of a slow process. I grew up in the, well, I was born in 34, so I grew up in the 30s and the 40s. And I experienced World War II as a child. I saw my cousins and uncles go off to war. I lived with the reality of these air raid siren right on the telephone pole outside our door. My dad was a civil patrol, and when we did our blackouts, and I had to close all the windows and turn off all the lights, and he went out with his flashlight and his badge and patrolled the neighborhood. And I thought this was great. I wanted to be a wave, and I, you know, as a kid, I just thought their uniforms were great. And then as I became acclimated to and became informed as to what Hiroshima was, pictures of Hiroshima and Nagasaki were confiscated. And the military personnel who went and took pictures directly after the bombing, he never saw those developed until just, I think it was in the 60s or the 50s, no, the 60s or 70s, when those were finally revealed. They have just been developed and tucked away. And as we see, the reason is it was so devastating. When people were evaporated, shadows were the only thing left on the walls and on the pavement. It wasn't just, there weren't bones and dead bodies at the ground zero. It was vaporized shadows left where these people existed. And when I started thinking and started learning really what happened, I could no longer say I can't be involved, but I've got to do something to spend my life in the struggle to see that that never happens again. And Helen Caldecott came to town and spoke at our college. And I remember I was a member of the National Assembly of Religious Women, and we were multi-issued. Central America, South Africa, women's rights, just a variety of issues, the nuclear issue. And hearing Helen Caldecott speak, I went home that night thinking, if there's one issue that I need to spend time with my life, it's the nuclear issue. Because if we don't stop the nuclear madness, we won't be here to stop any of the other. Everything will come to an end. And so Helen Caldecott was a very large motivating force in my commitment to the struggle. And the National Assembly of Religious Women had a pin that I use in court whenever I've been in court. And it says, "Women, we must spend the rest of our lives in the best of the struggles." And I have named that struggle the nuclear struggle. And so those are some of the influences.